Mindfulness broadcast, everyone. I am Tiffany Grimes with Empower Coaching and Training. And if you are new to the broadcast, welcome. I am so glad you're here. If you have been a longtime attendee over the years, welcome. And I am so glad that you're here. I love spending this time together. It's one of my favorite times of the week. I wanted to talk this morning about a book that I have been reading. I prepped it to put in the chat, so I'm going to put it over here. It's by Margaret Wheatley, and Margaret has a few books really focused on leadership, and this particular one is called Who Do We Choose to Be? And I know this is probably backwards for you all, but at least you can get a visual. I put it in the chat. Facing reality, claiming leadership, and restoring sanity. You know, just a small job. But it's a really fantastic book and has a lot of anchors for me personally in my leadership, and I've got it tagged and highlighted with pretty important things like rubber bands and stickies, but it's really great and I keep coming back to it. And so I wanted to share two quotes from this book, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about those, and we'll get into our meditation practice this morning. So the first one is really in the beginning. It's what she opens with. There's sirens in the background if you can hear those. And it says, wait, it's loud for me. I'm not sure if you can hear it. It's by Howard Zinn, a historian. And Howard writes, "We don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of presents. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory." And I love this. I've probably shared with you, if you've been here before, one of my personal and professional values, and is a value embedded within Empower Coaching and Training, is joy. And joy is not just positivity or being happy or ignoring the bad. Joy is that being present with each moment and really realizing that we have choice in those moments and that we can be present with it, notice that it is temporary, and be with it, whether that's hard or whether that's a place of ease for us, whether it's pain or it is pleasure, and it's really being with that. And so this speaks to me about joy, and that, of course, excuse me, is embedded in mindfulness, right? The ability to build a brain that can be joyful. So the other quote I'm going to share with you is a real short one, and it is also not Margaret's, but she has quotes all through this book. And for me, this is really what I'm bringing to you today for us to think about and to use in our mindfulness practice. And I get the opportunity to work with all sorts of really amazing people. This week, I got to work with leaders and HR professionals connected with all of the community health organizations throughout Oregon. And they are in the midst of major change given federal mandates that are changing around healthcare. And there are all sorts of feelings and thoughts about that. And so I used this quote to kind of ground in the work that I was doing in working with these folks. And so it is, they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seed. They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. And I think that speaks to all of us going through change, whether we're impacted by what is happening around us or our own family changes or internal changes or aging changes or seasonal changes or kids are graduating or, whatever it is, these changes that I guess the question I want to leave you with and thinking about is, what am I growing with this? What am I manifesting? What am I creating when this change, quote unquote, buries me or engulfs me, or I feel like I am buried by this thing. What's growing? Fear, anger, hatred, or, and maybe self love, compassion, acceptance, mindfulness, advocacy, a loving warrior heart. I heard somebody call it the other day, and I love that. It encompasses both, but my Gemini heart really loved the opposites of that, the opposings of those, the juxtaposition of that phrase. What am I growing when I'm buried in change? Um, so I'll leave you with that to ponder as we go into our practice this morning. You can close your eyes, or you can take a soft gaze. And just start by fully inviting yourself into this moment exactly as you are, distracted, imperfect, maybe exhausted, maybe energized, maybe focused. Just invite you just as you are this morning. Welcome yourself. Offer yourself some just words of kindness. You made it through this really challenging week, or I see your brilliance this morning, your resiliency, or just a simple, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad I showed up. You can speak to yourself in first person or third person. And then just allow all of that to settle in as you find your breath. And allow your full attention just to land with each and every inhale and each and every exhale. You might begin to deepen that, lengthening, especially the exhale. Beautiful work. And I want you to think about yourself right now as that seed. Imagine perhaps you've been purposefully placed in purposeful soil with purposeful warmth and moisture, or you were tattered by the wind and blown about, and the fall leaves fell on you and they're decaying, and the spring rains are drying, and you're growing despite it all. You can personalize that a little bit, allow a little bit of your own life to filter in. Maybe you decide what type of seed you are. Maybe you name the soil or the environment or the decaying leaves. What I want you to do is consider what you'd like to grow as that magic of a seed begins to sprout and open and send out roots. What is it that you'd like to grow? And see if you can name that for yourself. It might be very, very specific, and it might be more general. And if you're having trouble thinking of anything, just simply refocus on your breath. It's okay. What would you like to grow? I'm going to go a little bit further along. And again, you're welcome to stay at whatever level of this practice you'd like. And if you're willing and able to move on, I want you to think about how you will grow that. We think about a seed. It needs attention. It needs water. It needs warmth. So what will those things be for you? Are they words of affirmation? Is it rest? Is it a daily practice? How do you grow this? And for some of you, you might have one glaring answer. And for the other, you might be searching. And still others, you might find you have a long list. You're doing really great work. And as you consider this, just observe your state of being right now. As you use curiosity and mindfulness and presence, intentionality, just notice what's present for you. What's happening in your body, your breath, your heart rate, your temperature, your focus. And when you're ready, I want you to find your breath again, placing your full attention on the inhale, and then on a long, slow exhale. And repeat that a few times on your own. And as you're doing these breaths, I want to read this to you again and then I'll let you go. They tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back together. Thanks for being here, everyone. You're amazing. Grow something wonderful. See you next week. Thank you.